kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice and medical care, please contact your doctor. Brought to you by Koala Cola. It tastes just like Down Under. I'm Crampy Koala. Take it away, DJ Dylan.
Welcome to the Jock podcast featuring Dr. London Smith.
DJ Dylan?
What the Shut up! Ow! Don't touch me!
DJ Dylan?
Shut up while I record my intro. Introducing your host,
Koala Cola. Hello, and welcome to the Jock podcast, where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I would like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We've received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as pseudotumor cerebri and branded content, so I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Hi, Dr. London.
Hey.
Is that all? You're just going to say, hey,
Yeah.
You're not going to maybe notice anything new about me or anything like that?
No, there's, and I guess, the listeners can't see, but you do have, you've changed your hair a little bit.
I've changed my hair a little bit, and you know what they say is if you want to be a new person, start with the haircut.
Yeah, so some people say, like, go to college and you can kind of make a new identity, but for you, it's just, I guess, enough spy movies have convinced me that all you have to do is change your hair and then you're done.
Every person that I've ever known and also have seen on TV or anything, I define them by their hair.
Right.
And,
so,
like, today, do I want to be a punk? Today, do I want to be emo, Dr. London? Today, do I want to be a doctor? All of these things you can do just with a hairstyle.
Yeah, the doctor point especially is one where do you feel like there's a typical doctor? I mean, I know you call this your doctor haircut.
This is my doctor haircut. Yes, this is the haircut that I.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, it's sort of like it's parted down the middle and it's very flowy. It's kind of like
it's purple with gradients.
It's kind of like Sawyer from Lost if it was purple with gradients.
And it's, I mean, granted, it's really got a lot of volume to it, and it kind of, it waves around nicely, but like I just
ready for the operating table.
It just doesn't scream doctor to me.
I mean, I've already prescribed a lot of medicine today, so I feel like that already proves you wrong.
Okay. You know what, before we move on there, I do want to, address so what you might have heard in that little medical disclaimer earlier. So we have a new sort of sponsor. We're in a new podcast network called Koala Cola.
Yes.
And sorry, I want to address this just in case it's confusing for any new listeners. So we used to, belong to the Casey Anthony Podcast Network. We learned that there's some suspicious things going on there. So we decided to switch to a new network, the Koala Cola Podcast Network, and it's been so good. It's been great. So it's the most popular cola in Australia as far as they've
told us, it is the most, or it's at least the tastiest. They said that it's won every tasting contest that's ever been around. They said they submitted it to a wine tasting contest and they won.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's, it's great. And one thing small detail I want to emphasize is that there are no koala parts in it. There's no glands. They did not take out the pancreas.
Well, and I'm tired of having to dedicate so much time to the podcast to talking about how there's definitely no koala parts in this soda when you know that there's no koala parts. But now I'm sure you've seen the latest rumors on Twitter, Dr. London. Now everyone's talking about the juice, the koala juice. Like, oh, they get koalas and they kind of wring them and they get all the juice out of them and they put the koala juice in those sodas. All I can say about that is, I mean, guys, if that were true, then like, is that really even a big deal? It's not even true. It's not true.
It's not true. I was gonna, because contractually, like, I should guess. I'll read it. I'll read it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Koala Cola products contain no actual koala, and there's no need for further questioning on the matter. Great! That clarifies it for me.
Just leave it alone.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's our producer Cameron. Also with us is Digital Nose.
Dr. Cameron.
I'm sorry, Dr. Cameron.
The haircut.
Because the hair. Yeah. So also with us is...
I mean, I don't want to ask. Your haircut is more of a, I don't know, like maybe like Uber, maybe like an Uber driver, like a former Uber driver who, like you can't drive for Uber anymore because you're under 4 stars rating.
Yeah,
that's kind of like what your hair is, sort of. Is that what you are now?
So it has been quite a week. Yeah, short answer, yes. So I went to get a haircut and they buzzed off half of my hair, and that's of course what we all think of when we think of Uber driver. Half of my hair is completely buzzed off.
Yep.
The other half is grown down to my ankles at this point.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even make the connection with a haircut, but the very next day, I show up to work. Someone else, now I see someone with your haircut took my job at the hospital.
Oh, yeah. I mean, someone who was probably prepared, probably got up this morning and got themselves the proper haircut that a doctor would need.
Yeah. So then I spent, I guess, the week just kind of sitting around trying to play with electrical outlets, just the kind of stuff that I guess
the stuff you kind of get into when you don't have work. Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah, haven't actually driven an Uber.
Well, that's really cool, Dr. London. I'm glad that your lifestyle is matching with your hair needs.
Yeah, and I know some people might be listening and thinking, wait, is it normal for someone who drives for Uber? I should clarify. The haircut is Uber, but I have not gotten that job either. So I'm kind of, it is a get the haircut for the job you want. But anyway, it's nothing. But anyway, so also with us is Digital in the House. Digital in the House. So we used to, belong to the Casey Anthony Podcast Network. We learned that there's some suspicious things going on there. Casey Anthony Podcast Network, the Casey Anthony Podcast Network. We decided to switch to a new network, the Koala Cola Podcast Network, and it's been so good. And it's been so good. Later, Cameron tells us that we can expect a special guest.
That's right, Dr. London. And I might even perform open heart surgery on our guest, since I'm a doctor for today.
Yeah.
Just a spoiler alert. I just don't want anyone to be surprised if that happens. I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay. Sure. Doctor doesn't necessarily mean open heart surgeon.
But it doesn't not mean that.
That's true. It's not exclusive in that way. Okay, so before we move on, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. This note comes from a lucky health inspector who visited the Koala Cola sewage treatment facility, who was tempted to say something bad about the conditions there, but then changed his mind after spending 8 days in the mind-changing room. So that's great to hear.
Yeah, that's pretty good to hear. I vacationed in the mind-changing room once, and I came out of there, just feeling fresh, Dr. London, just so, more refreshed than I had been in months.
Yeah. Oh, you loved it. Or at least that's what
absolutely loved it. And I came away really appreciating sort of the sweet and sour taste of Koala Cola.
Great, yeah. So the note reads, quote, "I am satisfied with my experience and suffered no physical harm during my assessment of these facilities," end quote. Well, No, that's so great to hear. I just think that's fantastic.
That is great to hear, but maybe this person's asking, like, what do I talk about with my doctor when I don't have anything wrong with me? Because this is something I've actually struggled with too, and I don't think we've ever talked on the show, is that usually when I'm talking to my doctor, we have something to talk about, right? Like, I'm like, oh, my foot thing is touching my elbow thing. Or, oh, my elbow thing suddenly has sort of gone on the inside of itself. And we're able to have this like back and forth conversation. But then some days when I go there and like I'm doing fine, like I have no idea what to talk about, Dr. London. I'm just sitting there and the doctor's like, all right, why'd you come in? And I'm like, oh gosh. So did you see Kermit on The Masked Singer? That was crazy.
And then you'll keep them afterwards, just talking about it.
I just cringe thinking about it. So when nothing's wrong with you and you're doing just fine, and you're going to your daily doctor meeting, what am I supposed to say to the doctors?
Hello is usually the first thing. You'd say hello. You might, and this is a convention that might be dying out, but you might shake their hand. It depends. It's also a good way to spread disease. So, I'd say like, maybe don't go for the handshake unless they go for it.
Okay.
And then if they try to hug you, then I probably wouldn't go for that. Just generally with, even if,
You think the doctor is going to try to hug the patient?
I'm saying your doctor might try to hug you.
Oh, yeah, he's a hugger. He loves it.
Yeah, well, and because also you are the doctor in this situation, right? That's what because of your hair.
Ooh, I mean, I am. Do doctors see doctors? That actually is interesting paradox. That is a very interesting mathematical paradox that I haven't considered. What is a doctor's doctor? Is that a doctor?
A mega doctor?
Is that a doctori?
Yeah.
What is it?
A super doctor?
And these are the kind of questions that I learned about in medical school.
You mean the barber shop?
Yes, where my teacher's at.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so for that listener, thank you for listening. And now for today's medical topic, Alpha-1 Antitrypsin Deficiency. Alpha-1 Antitrypsin Deficiency, along with some of the other topics we've been covering, is a cause of liver cirrhosis. So, Alpha-1 Antitrypsin Deficiency, we've talked about it before in the field of emphysema, but it's an inherited disorder due to either an increase in the activity of a protease called elastase or a deficiency in an antiprotease called alpha-1 antitrypsin. And so the activity of that, the deficiency of that in the lungs. So normally, elastase is released from neutrophils and macrophages and digests human lung, but it's inhibited by alpha-1 antitrypsin. And that's an enzyme that's made and secreted from the liver. So an alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency, remember this is the one that normally would stop elastase from basically eating up liver. You can think of that enzyme as just being stuck in the liver. It's not allowed to leave and go to the lung. So that lung's elastase. What?
Why does thinking about that? What is thinking about it being stuck contribute in any way?
So, well, that's why your liver is affected, because otherwise you're just thinking, oh, it's an issue with the lungs. But the reason why...
Yeah. But you told people to like imagine it and to picture it and to conjure that image in their mind of something being stuck. Why? What is the importance of it being stuck?
Because it acts sort of like a clog in the machine. You can think of it that way. It messes with the liver.
Well, then maybe come up with something just to spice things up. Maybe like a metaphor, an allegory. Like it's as clogged as...
Okay, so you think that...
It's as stuck as, the stick up your Dr. London's own little butt.
I feel like I already kind of went with a metaphor, but you specifically want a simile. So, yeah, it's as clogged as... the drain after Cameron gets his hair cut and all the hair goes into the drain.
Oh, that's very funny. It's wrong. I mean, it's rude and it's wrong, but that's the kind of stuff that we can, we're friends. And especially the fact that you are half bald and then half cousin it feels a little judgmental.
Yeah.
Especially for an Uber driver talking to a doctor. But
well,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And, to your credit, I guess a comment about the clogged sink from my hair would actually make more sense, considering it goes down to my ankles. But in any case, so the lungs elastase has nothing to stop it eating away at the alveoli in the lungs, because the alpha-1
eating away like a
like a
lion,
like a lion eating a gazelle carcass,
well, I was thinking maybe like a sheep.
Okay, yeah, that true. That
you don't think the sheep? You think the sheep maybe it's too like visually upsetting for people if we went with sheep?
I think a lion devouring any creature is about as graphic as anything else.
Would it fit more? Yeah, would it fit more if it was like another big cat? Maybe if it was a lion taking down a tiger.
No, I think gazelle or sheep. That sounds good. Because you want it to be.
Okay. I think I've got it.
Oh, you've got okay. So the lungs elastase has nothing to stop it eating away at the alveoli in the lungs, and the liver
eating away
like a lion eating a gazelle or a sheep in the lungs, and the liver is overloaded with this alpha-1 antitrypsin. So clinically
overloaded like a guy like he was like carrying too many groceries from the car.
Yeah. So the liver is overloaded like a guy carrying too many groceries from the car with, instead of groceries, it would be alpha-1 antitrypsin.
Uh-huh.
So clinically, you would look for a combination of liver disease and emphysema in a patient who's non-smoker. They can also be smokers, which would lower the age at which you see the presentation. But it can happen in non-smokers is a big point. They may have a family history of COPD at an early age, because remember, this is an inherited disorder. Treatment is with
and a family history like your family history, like your grandfather getting the award for the smelliest American in the late 1800s. So like your family history is that?
Yeah, no, and it's a prestigious award, by the way. Like people don't hand that out to just anyone.
Oh yeah, I mean, I assume that's what paid for your medical school.
Yeah,
you come from money. I assume that money came from sort of him touring around as the smelliest American. But I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying that's your family history. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. My family history of COPD, like a family history of my grandfather being the smelliest American. Unfortunately, he did lose at the world competition. National level.
Oh yeah,
but he blown away by some of those other. I don't want to say smellier countries, because these are individuals. So, but there are certain countries where they learned to concoct the right diet to really get that pungent smell going. But in any case,
we can just say it. I think it's Canadian moose meat. People are consuming a lot of Canadian moose meat for the Canadians up north.
Yeah. And
and they have a rotting moose smell.
And it's funny how we mention that, because up north is great, but so is down under. It tastes just like down under.
Oh.
Great. Yeah.
You did that.
What?
You didn't have to do that, Doctor.
I know, but I
you prompted him. You queued him up.
I know, but we were so close that I figured I could see him trembling. He was so excited about it.
All right.
And I just wanted him to have his release,
done. I'm done with this.
So treatment is with replacement of the enzyme with inhaled aerosolized alpha-1 antitrypsin, and if they smoke, with smoking cessation. Lung and liver transplants are reserved for patients with end-stage hepatic or lung disease. When liver transplant is done, the donor liver is able to correct the alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency, because it's a new liver without the inherited disorder. So that's a perk to it. All right. we'll go ahead and move on from there. All right, Cameron, you said that we have a guest today. Is that right?
Yeah, and Dr. London, you're gonna freak out over this, but we actually have
who?
A very, 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 very special and important person.
Okay. You said it's a big guest.
It's a huge guest, and I mean that in every way. Who do you think it might be?
I don't want to get my hopes up here. So
I would say get your hopes up.
Okay, so lead singer of Train.
Oh, that is extremely close. But Dr. London, we actually got Shaquille O'Neal. We finally got Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq himself.
I'm a huge fan of his memes.
I know, you're the biggest meme fan, the Shaq meme fan. You love the whole Mandela effect thing about Kazam versus Shazam, you know?
Yes. Oh, I love it.
Oh man, you're such a huge fan of those things. And so we have Shaq. Shaq is in the studio. Yeah, we actually have him in the studio. Oh, wait, hold on a second.
Hold on. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, my family has been like FaceTiming me and like hitting me up and texting me, and it's been really annoying because I can't.
Is it about the haircut?
Well, I thought it was about the haircut too, but the problem is that like the song, my ringtone song is too fun, and so I end up listening to the whole thing instead of answering the FaceTime calls. And so it's just like, why doesn't my family get the hint? I don't know. It's just anyway. Okay, I think actually, they're gonna swing by real quick, just real quick. Let's get that out of the way. Let's put the show on pause. Yeah, for a sec.
I'll just bring them in. But I'm gonna so Shaq.
Yes.
Wow, you're here.
Yes, there's a lot of.
Well, no. Let's deal with the family stuff before. Well, we will get to you, Shaq. You know, he was.
Hey, Cameron.
Oh, hey.
Oh, I love your hair.
Oh, thank you so much.
When did you become a doctor?
This morning.
Wow.
Like I just did it.
This is and this goes way back to our early episodes, but this is your aunt and niece, Cameron. Is that right?
Yes, she is both an aunt. And that is a type of family member, and then she is also my niece, which is also a family member.
How are you, London?
I'm okay. Lately, my job's been. I've been in a sort of weird situation with work, but you know.
Shaq.
Yes.
Wow.
Ooh, Cass.
Can we get a picture?
Yes.
No, Cassie, if you could just not.
He's 3 inches taller than me. I've never met anyone 3 inches taller than me.
I know, and you finally met someone who could dunk a basketball harder than you can dunk a basketball, and that's awesome.
Okay, now you both. He's getting upset over that. So
I'm so sorry, Shaq. I'm so sorry, Cassie. You can't bother the guests; they don't like it.
And sorry for the listener, we don't have enough mics for everyone here, so that's why Shaq isn't currently on mic. Contractually, we are required to give one to Crampy. It is just like down under.
Okay, Crampy, if you could just go ahead and
He's
sit
cute.
back. No, don't. If you encourage him, it's really.
Don't. Okay.
Don't encourage him.
Okay, get off of me. Get off of me.
No.
Get off
Crampy,
me.
Crampy. Yeah, you just gotta swat him away. Okay. Okay. Anyway.
Which I was gonna say, that is kind of like, I don't know why I got mic'd up. Like, it took 20 minutes to get mic'd up. Like, they went all the way through my clothes. And it's like, I'm actually just here to drop off my invitations to you guys to my housewarming party.
Oh, so yeah, I heard about this on Nextdoor. You just moved, huh?
Yes, I moved south.
Wow.
All the way south?
Yes.
Yeah, what?
Yes.
You do need to be a little bit careful. It is kind of a rough neighborhood. So just don't bring anything valuable. Don't bring anything that you treasure.
Right.
Just kind of leave that behind. Because, yeah, it is kind of a rough area. So it would be best to watch your back at this party. And if you guys could bring, like, kindling, that would be good. Because here's the deal. You guys remember back in February, the middle of America froze to death.
Ooh, yeah. I definitely remember
Okay.
that. I definitely had our cousin, well, I guess like my cousin and your nephew's cousin's niece's aunt frozen an ice cube. It was very sad. Extremely sad.
Yeah. So I just kind of realized like this place is not for me. And so I packed my family up and I moved south. Took the elevator down. And yeah, it's not a good neighborhood. No, I don't get along with my neighbors. Yeah, I built a living fence to keep them kind of at bay.
Who are your neighbors? Why do you have such issues with your neighbors?
They're just the most evil people you could ever imagine. I mean, they're always screaming at me about my dog. I'm like, are you kidding me? Everyone has their dogs running around here.
When you say that you moved down south, and you also say that you got in an elevator and went down, so you know south is a sort of horizontal situation. Like you're moving. How do I say it? You're moving.
I just struggle to find a way to describe this. Maybe down under is a better analogy.
It is just like down under.
God, it's just oh my gosh.
But because of my Rana's, I needed to get somewhere warm, and it's like I just need to be in a climate that I can grow my tropical plants. And it's like I'm in probably zone 89, which Texas, where I used to live, is zone 8. So you cannot imagine the tropical plants that I'm growing down here.
And for people who don't know, Cassie, of course, struggles with Raynaud's disease, which means when she's chilly, her feet go purple.
And hands.
And hands, which can be very difficult. Kids calling you grimace hands and all these things, yeah.
It hurts my joints. Like, it actually does hurt my joints when it's cold. Like, I literally feel like I'm freezing sometimes. But not anymore, because I moved south.
You keep saying south, and it's like this mysterious...
Well, just the elevator down? Is that what south is for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, like how long did it take to move south is, I think, maybe the better question.
The standard 8 months?
I think it took about 10 weeks, the elevator ride down.
Oh.
Okay. And it was moving that entire time?
Yes.
Oh,
which
wow.
y'all will have to take it down. So I have instructions on the invitation about where to find it. But I don't want to talk about it on the podcast because I don't want your listeners finding me. Like, I'm already dealing with enough. Trust me.
No, that's fine. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I know Dr. London and I have like tickets to go to see different shows and stuff. And if it's going to take 10 weeks on an elevator to get to your house...
some of these tickets aren't refundable, is the thing.
Yeah, I mean, like we're going to Swan Lake, we're going to Duck Lake, we're going to Goose Lake,
the Great Lakes. Yeah,
we're going to the Great Lakes, like all these different ballets.
Mm-hmm.
And
we're not into ballet, but we're going there to study because, Cameron wanted to get he wanted both of us to get more agile so we could be better at football, and the best way to do that, I've seen in shows, is to take ballet. And so we thought...
just real quick, I also had decided that I could stand on my tippy toes a lot longer than any ballerina.
Yeah. And so, once again, proving it by watching them.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you see, ballerinas are cheating because they have that tutu thing, right? So that's what keeps them balanced, right? They've got like the big hoopy tutu. So if I just get a bigger one of those, I can stand on my tippy toes all day long.
I have one in the back of my car.
Oh, perfect. But
anyways, listen, it's because I had to move.
To get to your house?
No, I had to take the elevator because I had all my belongings with me. You guys can take the chute.
Oh, and how quick is that?
That's like 3.5 minutes. But you go really, really, really fast. And that's like another warning. Like, you need to wear a mask, not just because of COVID, but like your skin could
keep
fly
your face
off.
on.
Yeah, exactly. So all the details are in the invitation. That's why it's like pretty thick, and you probably should start reading it now because the party's in 3 weeks, and it's a pretty hefty one.
Well, yeah, your invitation has chapters. Like, it has an index here. I mean, a table of contents. You have
correct
introduction. You have the shoot,
preface,
what to-dos and not to-dos.
Yes.
You've got snacks, poisonous versus non-poisonous.
How did you get Charles Manson to write the foreword to this?
Well, I did move south.
Ah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So, I guess, for a housewarming party, this sounds pretty involved. I've been to housewarming parties before, where they didn't require us to, read I was going to say an encyclopedia, but I've had encyclopedias that were a lot less thick than this invitation.
I guess that's true, but it says right here that it's going to be an epic event. Could you say that any of the house parties you've been to in the past were epic events?
Let's see. Yeah, so I went to... No. Okay, no, you're right.
So, I mean, I feel like it's covered right here in the invitation, Dr. London. You just got to keep your eyes open and your mind open.
And I guess our 2 years of friendship mean nothing to you?
Yeah, that is true. Sorry. I didn't want to bring that up because I didn't want any hostility. But Cassie here had sent you a Christmas gift the last 2 years of a little box with 7 ants in it. And from my understanding, you didn't even send her a thank you. You didn't get her an iPod. Like, you didn't get her anything.
Yeah, and the 7 ants...
No, it's fine. Like, we don't have to talk about it, but...
I think we should talk about it. It's okay. I mean, did it hurt your feelings, Cassie?
Yeah.
Crampy, how's it? It tastes just like down under.
Crampy? I swear, if you do not get down, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose my mind.
Okay, just
it's the cheekiness of the laughs that really gets it. It's so smarmy. It's so ugh.
Yeah, it's like he knows.
It's condescending. Yeah.
I don't even want to look his direction. Like,
don't at all.
It's so.
If you make eye contact with him, he'll immediately start talking.
Yeah,
and that's
I know.
The opposite of what anyone wants.
Ugh.
I like this invitation. It sounds fun. Like, it sounds like it could be a fun party. Going south or even down under, you might call it. It tastes just don't. No. Okay.
You prompted him. Like, you didn't have to do that.
I know.
There was no reason to say go under.
It's bringing in the brand. All right. So, I hate to interrupt this.
You love it. You love to interrupt.
But, we got to get these chores done. And Cameron, would you mind explaining to Cassie? I don't know if you're familiar with our system here.
Oh, right. So so I know that you, ever since, you were my little aunt and I was your little niece, or vice versa, you've always said that I'm just like crazy messy. And unfortunately, Dr. London here is crazy messy too. And we have been neglecting all of our chores for a really long time. And so we haven't taken out the goose, we haven't drained
we haven't praised the goose. We haven't there's another goose across the street that we've meant to crown the goose.
Yeah. We haven't drained any of the nostrils or anything like that. And so we have created this fun chore wheel that we spin every single week, and whatever it lands on, whatever chore it is, we have to do it. And Cassie, actually, since you're, should Cassie do this or should Shaq do this?
I'm way too cold. Let me just tell you, I am up here. No, it's not going to work for me. Shaq needs to step in, please.
Shaq, if you, and we'll interview you here in a second, yes. Shaq, okay? Calm down. God, he's being a little
pushy, for sure.
It's what? Okay. Yeah, Shaq, if you can just go ahead and spin the chore wheel, that'd be great.
Yes.
Whoa, it looks like it's spinning away.
Oh, God. It came off the thing and went right out the door. Why didn't we keep the door open?
I should have tightened it.
Yes.
Wait, who was in charge of tightening that bolt?
Oh, I mean, our Bolt guy probably. Did you pay the Bolt guy this month?
I didn't. Well, first of all, didn't pay, but also I bet tightening the bolt was on the chore wheel list.
Yep.
Well, at least Shaq is running to go get it at least.
Well, I bet, Dr. Lund, can you pull out your binoculars? I bet you can see what it landed on.
Yeah, I can do that.
Can you make it out?
So I see it landed on. Oh no, not this one. Okay.
Oh gosh, I knew it was going to be this one.
Plan the mayor's proposal to his girlfriend.
Ah.
No, I knew this one would have to come up. It had to, obviously.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's, I guess we don't have to explain it too much. It's kind of in the title there. But the mayor is, just like he's terrible at planning everything else, he's extremely terrible at planning his own engagement. He's going to be proposed to his longtime girlfriend, Miss Mayor.
Yeah.
And
it's frustrating that it falls on us.
But of course it does. We wouldn't have taken the position of, hosts of the Jock Doc podcast if we didn't want this kind of responsibility.
Yeah, or just like it comes with the territory. I would say I didn't want this kind of responsibility, but it does come with it.
Yes, yeah. And Cassie, can you help us out with this a little bit? Because you're a lot better. I mean, you're already planning your own housewarming party. I know you're like a party fiend. Can you help plan this engagement?
I'm not saying anything right now because I honestly don't support Miss Mayor marrying Mr. Mayor. I think she can do better.
Whoa.
In fact, I know she can do better. So,
wow.
Okay. Well,
you think it's just the position, it's the power that's the only reason she's drawn in?
I think she could be Miss President. If I'm being real with you.
Wow.
How about this? What if we incorporate that into the proposal? That vibe, that feeling you have about it.
Yeah, I was like immediately thinking I'm going to find out when they planned this and set up across the street. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to have a better proposal over there and hope that Miss Mayor goes that direction instead?
No, I was going to have kind of like a picketing type of situation.
Okay.
I mean, if you're, you're saying whatever they did, you'll picket on the other side. What if you're on the inside, if you're on the ground floor planning it, then surely there's a way to, bring your will about in this somehow.
Or what if the engagement is themed around Miss Mayor being out of Mr. Mayor's league and how Mr. Mayor's kind of like a low quality guy.
I do kind of like that aspect. Maybe this is like a many booths type of situation. Like she walks down and there are many booths that she has to stop at first. Like check-ins. Like, are you sure?
Okay.
Yes,
so
that sounds great.
Are we talking like carnival booths?
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like a long line of them.
A long line of carnival
Some of them
booths.
could be games, just lighthearted.
So I have an idea for the first one.
Okay.
Okay.
So for the first one, it will be a Koala Cola stand so that she can have something nice to drink the whole time she's walking through.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I think also when you think about the refreshing taste of Koala Cola, it also makes you want to have Koala chips. Koala Cola's brand new snacks. They are salty and they're sweet and they're great to eat. And I mean, I think just that combo is, you can't beat it, Dr. London.
It tastes just like Down Under.
What does Down Under taste like?
I'm going to ship you away.
What does Down Under taste like? You keep saying it. Let's hear it. What does it taste like?
It tastes like the refreshing taste of Koala Cola.
I like Barks.
You like Barks, you said? You're like a Barks root beer.
Oh, yeah, major. I would never leave my Barks.
Is that...
So
is that something that we want to incorporate into this proposal?
Will that be the next booth?
Well, no, I mean, there's just a chapter in the invitation, but we don't have to go back to that.
That's true, and we don't want to steal ideas from your
from
house
my
party
house. Yeah, I know. That's also what's hard.
proposal.
Yeah, that's what's hard. Is like I'm already planning an event.
Okay, so
and I don't even really want this event to go down.
Well, then this is where we can help out, right? Because maybe we can nudge Miss Mayor in a direction of saying no to the mayor. Like,
or
so
at
maybe the
least
second booth
present her with both opportunities before it's just like the pageantry, the roses, the flowers, Mr. Mayor standing there in his teal suit. Like, let's do that, but let's also kind of bring in, like, you know, Mr. Mayor's kind of not that great.
Yeah, what if, like, you know, we had the second carnival booth, what if it's one of those games where there's a bunch of balloons and you're throwing darts at it, right? But underneath the balloons are pictures of Mr. Mayor next to his much more attractive cousins.
Okay.
And so the more she, you know, is throwing the darts and revealing it, it slowly reveals sort of how ugly Mr. Mayor is compared to his handsome cousins.
And maybe somehow we can make her think about, like, her genetics passing on. You know, like, what do you want your children to look like?
Yeah, the next booth.
Okay.
Oh.
So the next booth.
Okay, yeah. So what do you got, London?
So, first booth was she's sipping on this Koala Cola, this really refreshing drink. Second booth, she's popped some balloons, learned that there are better options out there. The third booth, she walks up and it's one of those water gun ones.
Uh-huh.
Right? So she's trying to hit the target. And what was our goal here? I was really sorry. I get distracted by the refreshing taste of
to
Koala
show
Cola.
how bad their genetics would be.
That's right, the
morphing
offspring.
together. Yeah.
So if she gets it, and the prize that she gets whenever she wins that is a stuffed animal with one of those one of those things where they merge faces.
Yes, I
the
like
digitally
that.
merged faces.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so the stuffed animal has that face.
It's
and-
subtle.
Except for the whole body.
Yeah, it's subtle. I
and
like
so
that.
it's a very deformed creature, basically.
yeah, that
Well,
is
and
good.
there needs to be a point of comparison. Like, there needs to be another stuffed animal that has the face of Miss Mayor
the
combined
president.
with
the president.
With the president, yeah.
Yeah. And that one will obviously be a very attractive.
Yeah, just like a
one.
super handsome one. And that'll show her, like, you know, there's better looking options out here. But what if here is my worry is that she's not interested in the looks. She's interested in him as a person, that disgusts me to even say.
Oh.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine. There's
so
no
then
way.
how do we
Why waste a booth? There's no way she's into him for that.
What about just in case she likes him for who he is? We've got to ruin that with the fourth booth.
Okay. I mean, hypothetically, I'm gonna go with you on this one, but like I've seen a lot more believable Marvel movies.
What if it's? Movies. That makes me think of maybe having a big video screen and we're showing sort of graphic footage of Mr. Mayor using the bathroom or being really sick. Sort of things that would make anyone who would look at it be so disgusted by them as a person.
I just feel like that crosses boundaries. Like, we can do this without going that low. Like, if we go that low, we're no better than Mr. Mayor. So, what if she's into his vibes? Because that's possible. I've seen him dance.
So, booth number 4?
Oh, so we need to ruin the vibes.
Break his ankles.
That's tough.
Break his ankles.
That's what I think. That's what I would do.
So the fifth booth, and we got to kill the vibe.
One.
Why aren't we using footage of the many times he's cheated on Miss Mayor? Like, why are we?
Well, you said not to stoop low.
I feel like that's factual, though. And although, like, using the restroom violently, yeah, that's factual. Like, drinking too much Barks and getting the Barks shards, yeah, that's factual. Like, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yes. So booth number 5 will just be explicit footage of him cheating on her.
But I feel like this stuff comes down to personal opinion. Like, I don't think that cheating at Monopoly should be taken as seriously as people take it. Like, I don't think relationships should end based on that.
Well, hard disagree on my part. No, that's
I get it. You're breaking their trust.
Have you cheated at Monopoly? I guess there's a question.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to lie. In the past, I have cheated at Monopoly.
Wow. Crampy, can you believe that?
That doesn't define me as a person, though.
Doesn't it?
I mean, sure, if you think that's going to kill the vibe for her, is just seeing all this footage of him sneaking money out of the bank or shuffling the
because he'll play as banker.
He'll always play as banker.
For sure, yeah. Do not even think about it.
It just doesn't seem appropriate. But yeah, like
if it kills the vibe, I say just go with it, even though I disagree with it.
What if we did it like a little episode of Cheaters? And Cameron, you can be Joey Greco.
Okay.
And it's like we have footage of him cheating at Monopoly, and it's like we show it to her. You know what I'm saying? It's like a play, kind of.
So that's the fifth booth. The fifth booth is more interactive. It's more
3-dimensional.
Well, it's only interactive in the sense that you show up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It adds like a 3D environment to it because it's not just the footage. Now it's about me pointing at the footage.
But Cameron, you're in the car ride over.
Yeah. Because it's not her walking in on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say because it's on Cheaters. The thing would be like you walk in on them cheating, right? That's the thing. So in this instance, it's just walking in.
Oh, right, yeah, because I don't know.
Them cheating.
I don't know when they play Monopoly or anything like that.
I still think it's powerful. Mm-hmm.
Easier to just use the footage.
I mean, do we want a sixth and final? Let's say she somehow actually makes it to the sixth one without being so disgusted that she's already walked away.
The only way would be through the power of Koala Cola. She's sipping on the whole time.
It's
just like you did.
Just to listen to that.
Okay, can I try some because I need to know what Down Under tastes like.
It does taste really amazing and it's really refreshing.
Go ahead. We have
perfect with koala chips. It doesn't have any koala parts.
Have any koala parts in it.
I get it.
And it will not give you the bark sharts.
Well, that's a relief.
Because, I mean, it sounds like the way you brought that up before, it sounded like that was maybe sort of a consistent aspect of your life, huh?
I wasn't going to bring it up, but...
Yeah, it's okay. You can be honest on this show. You can be honest with us. We're family.
I think I might have a problem with barks.
You know what can help?
With who? Oh, okay.
The refreshing taste of Koala Cola. Yeah, just switch to Koala Cola and you'll be so much better. Cola. And instead of bark sharts, you will be getting what we call koala mode, which is sort of this jittery feeling you get after consuming too much Koala Cola. And that just enough. When you start feeling like you've gone full koala mode, that, to me, is the lesson to have another Koala Cola.
But I just feel like we got to nail this down. The
sixth one. Yeah. I mean, I feel like at this point, if you get to the sixth one, maybe the sixth booth is just a gun.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say trapdoor, but so
I was just gonna say a gun. And is that telling Miss Mayor that if you actually are gonna fall for this guy, then you might as well just off yourself? Or is that for Miss Mayor who has realized how awful the mayor is, that she's gonna take the gun and kill him? Or is it for me to take the gun and to shoot Dr. London so that I can finally take his open heart surgeries away from him? There's so many options that you can do, and it allows that like kind of flexibility depending on the situation.
Cameron, I know you're obsessed with guns, but I actually think the best solution is to have Mr. President there. Period. He's in the sixth booth. Mr. President. Yeah.
And he's making a final plea, like, please don't do this.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just.
Or is he gonna propose?
I feel like maybe we make it look like a proposal, but it's just like, let's get to know each other.
So it's one of those like, come here. And each of them is saying, come here. And then it's whoever she goes to at that point.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like.
Yeah, I think ultimately, yeah, that's.
And I think she would really like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Come here. Here, girl. Yeah.
And that way you're still giving her choice. Like you're giving her the freedom to make her choice. But it's between Mr. Mayor, Mr. President, and maybe like 100 mannequins dressed up exactly like Mr. Mayor, just in case, as like a backup.
Yeah. That sounds fine. Okay. Well, I feel like we've really taken that one down. Cassie, if you want to go ahead and ring out the chore wheel to the point that it's... Oh, sorry. It's already gone. Shaq's going to have to destroy it.
Do you want to radio him real quick?
Yeah, Shaq. Shaq, come in.
Yes. There's a lot of guys.
Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and... Can you destroy the wheel?
I think he got stuck.
Okay. So, anyway, so just do the best you can. We got a show to do. So, like, just figure it out. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, he'll be back, and we can actually start the show in a second. So in any case, for the moment, I guess, thank you to Cassie for coming on and giving us the invitation to this housewarming party. Yeah, thank you to our producer Cameron. Thank you to Digital in the House.
You guys remember, back in February, the middle of America froze to death. So I just kind of realized, like, this place is not for me. And so I packed my family up and I moved south. Took the elevator down. And yeah, it's not a good neighborhood. Well, I don't get along with my neighbors. Yeah, I built a living fence to keep them bay. I just struggle to find a way to describe this. Maybe down under is analogy. But because of my Renaz, I needed to get somewhere warm. And it's I just needed to grow my tropical plant. And it's like, I'm in probably zone 89. Where I used to live is zone 8. So you cannot imagine tropical plant down here.
My name is DrLondonSmith.com. This has been Jock Podcast.
See ya.